The Vikings as we're going to cast him off, we're going to fully move on. This is more of a let's look at our books and make the best financial decision for their quarterback room in Minnesota moving forward. Cody, tough spot the Vikings find themselves in. It's either decide to move on from a guy that had you in a lot of games, won you a lot of games last year, go with the second-year quarterback who's never played a snap, or you keep him around and pay him a lot of money.
I think, in my opinion, that it would be best for the Vikings and Sam Darnold to both go their separate ways. The reason I think that is because Sam Darnold wants to be paid like a franchise quarterback. He wants to build off of the momentum from last season, where he wants to go somewhere where he can be the guy, where they believe in him and he's not looking over his shoulder. He doesn't want to have to deal with quarterback controversy. If he comes back to Minnesota, we all know the entire topic all offseason is going to be McCarthy versus Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
It's going to be who's the franchise guy, who's going to be the leader, who's going to be the face of the Minnesota Vikings. And Sam doesn't want that anymore. And the other reason is the Vikings need to do right by J.J. McCarthy. They invested the 10th overall pick in him. In my opinion, if you keep Sam Darnold around, who's only 27 years old, by the way, and that's an important factor in this. He's not a 35 to 40-year-old veteran.
He's seen a lot, man, in 27 years.
Well, he's not on his way out of the NFL, right? He is, if he plays well again, going to be there for a long time, right? So that's why I think it's difficult for them to keep him around. I think that just does a disservice to J.J. McCarthy. It's going to disrupt his momentum. It's going to hurt him a little bit with his development. It's not going to allow him to feel confident and know that I'm the guy. You start having that doubt creep in a little bit. It's where, do they not believe in me anymore? Do they think Sam Darnold is the guy? I just think it's going to hurt J.J. McCarthy. But this is a perfect example of being in the right place at the wrong time, right? Sam Darnold, if he's there and they don't draft J.J. McCarthy last year, we're not talking about this at all. Our discussion is now about, is Sam Darnold a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? Is he going to be paid $50 million a year? Now, I don't think they would do that, but at very least, they're going to franchise tag him or give him a 1 to 2 year deal on a prove-it deal to see if he can be the guy. And then the other difficult thing about this is if Sam does leave, JJ is kind of in that shadow, right? It's going to be difficult for him. If he doesn't live up to how Sam played, the question becomes, well, why'd you let Sam go? Why do we go to a rookie if we could have built that momentum that Sam had from a year ago? But in my opinion, I do think they go their separate way, and the Vikings have to do right by J.J. McCarthy, and that means letting Sam Darnold go to free agency and find a different team.
It's really well put, and I think this is a really interesting situation. I don't have an immediate opinion on either way. I understand both sides, and I sympathize with both sides. Let's just remember what happened last year. And he has this unbelievably great season, and I think it's truly one of the stories of the entire season in the NFL. The last 2 games were horrible.
Yeah.
All right,
Bad.
horrible.
Bad.
So,
Yeah.
dream season, not only for him, for the Vikings, for O'Connell. It's just a wonderful, wonderful season. In the last 2 games that he started, they lost 58-18.
Most important
and Sam
games.
Darnold had 23 off-target throws. It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
He wasn't right. Something was going on. If you've watched him all season like we all have, you didn't recognize the player. It's not good. It's not good. And I think it left a very, very strong memory in Vikings fans' hearts, heads, everything. It was tough to watch. It just didn't look like the same player.
35-14. I mean, which guy's the real Sam Darnold? The guy we saw during most of the year or the last 2 games? Something happened. I agree with you. That last playoff game, he did not look right. Something was off about that offense, and I think that was the reason the Rams won that game and moved on. But Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. I think he's going to find a home someplace. I think there's a right fit. It's the downside of being a quarterback. You can only play one at a time, so you can't have a platoon system. So somebody is going to let him do what he does best. I still think there's something special there, but like you said with J.J. McCarthy, there's so much invested in him. They love him. They want him to be the guy. I think Sam is in the wrong spot or the right place at the wrong time. So there'll be suitors for him. There are teams that need quarterbacks, and he'll be right at the top of that free agent list. But I thought Kevin O'Connell said it perfectly. We're going to let him test free agency. He's earned the right to go out there and see what his market value is going to be. So that told you everything you needed to know about Sam Darnold. But at some point, we're going to find out which is the real guy. The guy we saw during most of the year or the guy we saw towards the end that didn't look so good versus Detroit and L.A.
You got more?
Yeah, just echoing what these people are saying.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, Jamie will know this, that when we can't decide what to do with a relationship in football, we go to the top shelf and we get the dating metaphor. And this is just on a tee. So what happened with Sam Darnold? Let's tell the story of it from relatable terms.
We do this a lot. This is
like one of the best ones ever.
This is a good one.
Yeah. All right, so you go out on a date with this guy, all right? It's Sam Darnold, and it's really, really going well. You didn't even think you were going to be going on. I've always known him. He's always kind of been a friend, but sure, we'll go out. Unbelievably charming, enchanting, wonderful restaurant, Scandinavian food. It's just great. The conversation is good. It's clever. He's treating the servers really well. There's even hand-holding. It's like the best date I've ever been on in my life. That was the season last year, okay? We're like, oh, let's go home. He's driving home, and the conversation is pleasant. It's just wonderful, beautiful night. And out of nowhere, he's like, you mind if I put it on the radio? And he puts on like intense political radio on the way back. Oh, well, we're kind of going. He's kind of preaching. And he's like, where did this go?
Eyebrow raised.
But I can get past this. We're finally home. We get out. He walks you up to the door.
Doesn't open your car door.
No, none of that.
No.
And then we get up to the front step, and it's just like it's just disgusting. It's like species. Like, bam. Like, where did this date derail so badly? And the problem is, it's not just a date that went wrong. Now you have to consider, not only am I going to go on another date with this person, I think we're going to like go away together, or we're going to buy a house together, like something really bonding and something really that's going to unite us. I don't know if I can do that as terribly as that went. I go on another date, but we're not going to buy a house in Cabo.
Okay. Yeah. Can I keep going on this
autobiographical,
metaphor?
Jamie?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It is for me.
There is that friend who set you up on this date, and this friend knows you super well, and they're like, this person works with you. This is going to be awesome. Do you go back to the person that got you that great first date with this person does Kevin O'Connell or Josh McCown have it in them again to get the next quarterback, to get the next guy right, the way that they got Sam Darnold right? Because was that lightning in a bottle with like this triangle of people? Because I think the character, like the person that is one of the biggest mysteries and one of the biggest factors in Sam Darnold's success was Josh McCown on the sideline this season. I had the great fortune of being on the sideline of a couple of Vikings games this season, and there were never a moment that I did not see Josh McCown, of course, working with QB1 and Sam Darnold. But you never saw Josh McCown without J.J. McCarthy standing right next to him, whether it be in warm-up, whether it be with the headset on. So this friend of yours set you up and set this date up perfectly, and he had everything working. Do you go back to that friend and say, you know what, this didn't work quite right. You got another one for me? And are you going to trust that person to hit another blind date and get it right? Because this, to me, Josh McCown is one great interview away from being a head coach in the NFL because he's had a lot of opportunities. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, I don't think JJ is a blind date. I think you studied him online for years and you kind of stalked him and you looked at all his family and his writing and everything.
True.
He looked really good in free agency too.
Right.
It's intriguing, but I even to Jamie's point, I was with Josh McCown when I was in Cleveland as a rookie.
Great
Those were some
dude.
tough times, and I'm not very fond memories.
We're going to get into it later.
But we will talk about that later. But Josh McCown was a huge positive for me. I leaned on him very heavily. He was like, I hate saying a father figure, but that's how it was. And he's a veteran, and I was a rookie, but I followed him everywhere. Every time Josh McCown spoke, I had my pen and paper out taking notes because of the experience that he had. And going back to the Sam Darnold thing, with all of this, is the reason I said the 27-year-old thing is so important is because if he does come back, even if it's a smaller deal than something that he doesn't want, but he plays well, he could be entering the prime of his football career right now. And now you're in a very difficult spot to where you let J.J. McCarthy play a little bit and maybe become, try to find some trade value and not even let him see the field, not develop, and go with Sam Darnold, or do you move on now and let Sam Darnold go? And what if he goes somewhere else and plays very well, and then there's going to be always that what-if factor?
And your young guy doesn't, or it takes a while for McCarthy to get his feet wet in the NFL. So, I mean, this will be weird. Is McCown the guy that sets you up on the date? Is that the dude?
No, he's a great guy, but I think he's too busy being a football coach, a football player.
I think he's invaluable, but I really do. I mean, I wonder. I do. The first thing you hear about Sam Darnold is how great of a guy he is, and he is basically Captain America.
I met him at the Pro Bowl for the first time. He's like the best person I've ever met.
He's awesome, right?
Unbelievable.
He's the guy you want to be your starter. So it's just a shock when the Vikings don't want him back. But I think that speaks to the potential of a J.J. McCarthy. There might be more there than what Sam Darnold. His ceiling might be higher, but it's a weird story. You can only play one at a time. That must be weird to know that the guy behind you is eventually going to be the guy while you're taking snaps. It's got to be weird.
I also want something that Ian said, and you touched on it. This idea that they're going to bring Darnold back on a mid-level contract. Mid-level contracts don't exist, I thought. That sounds great when you're saying we need to find a middle class for these quarterbacks. But then the agents get into it, and it's like, no, Jordan Love money or I'm out of here. Like that, it always sounds like a reason. Don't just pay Sam Darnold something reasonable for a couple of years, for medium money. There is no medium money. It doesn't. I love hearing that because there should be. And we should have Sam Darnold money that is not Joe Burrow money. But I never see it happen.
Mid-level money goes to backups.
Well, and the reason
so that's not going to happen.
He'll be paid as the starter.
The reason the agents do that is because we don't know if Sam Darnold's going to have a year like this again. And I love Sam. I spent time with him at USC, but you have to strike now when he's at his highest value. The agents are going to we're not going to settle for anything less. He needs to be paid what I think he deserves because you don't know what the future is going to hold, right? And that could be injury, that could be a fall off, a relapse, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They want to get paid
So the
now when he's
answer
at his
is
highest.
Sam Darnold should sign a 2-year deal for $28 million. It's not going to happen.
No.
I've never seen that happen
agree.
in the last 10 years. It
Okay.
doesn't happen.
It maybe not 2 years. I think he deserves a little longer than that.
Well,
but
what are we doing with JJ then? Like that, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's something reasonable.
You mean if he stays with the Vikings?
Yeah, if he stays with
Yeah.
the Vikings.
No.
But
Yeah.
we all think we should set. Sam Darnold played well enough to stay with the Vikings for a short amount. There's no short amount of time. There is no small money. The agents don't go for that. They give me everything. Give me that's their job.
Not for
Yeah.
75.
I don't think that's an option. I think it's
No.
either sign him a huge contract or say
Throw him out.
leave.
Yeah.
Now, the one catch, I think, Kyle, to when you had like the heavy exhale when you said he was 27 years old, which
Yeah,
is
it's
like maybe
nuts.
this guy has seen so much and been through so much. Maybe he is the quarterback that could reset the mid-market deal because maybe
I hope
he
so.
so badly wants to stay in Minnesota because this is what works for him. He has been at the top of the mountain and man, he has been at the lowest of the valley. And this could be just where he wants to be physically for his life, for his development. And maybe he's seen so much junk along the way that he wants to stay there because it's a great organization and like fantastic coaches and good for his development.
Yeah, stay in Minnesota and sign a small contract, or go to the Raiders, sign a huge contract, be terrible again, and lose every no defense to the Raiders. I'm just saying jumping to someplace else. Because if he were to say that, I want to stay here, just his agent would be like, no, I'm telling you, don't. And that's the agent's job. We just don't see those contracts happen. So I don't think it will.
Hunting we will go, hunting we will go. I hold the Mario, hunting we will go. We're hunting buffalo.
What you call me? Anytime, brother. What's up? Are you about to get your ass beat?
You have caused me some stress. We got the trophy. You have caused me some stress. We got it. Now you're here.
And he hasn't stopped talking since.
Oh, stop. Come on.
Or singing.
That's our
job
friend
now.
DeMarco Farr, Super Bowl champion. Have you ever sacked Rob Johnson of the Buffalo Bills? He has,
Yes.
and we had it in that package. What's it like to watch that?
Did I scare you?
I did, yeah.
Was that
Good.
terrifying?
I
Was that
had some
terrifying there?
flashbacks.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
sorry we didn't play against
That
each
was a
other.
whole different dude. That dude had an earring. Crazy.
Really?
Oh, nonstop. Yeah, crazy. Used to hang out with Nelly. That's bad.
You
Yeah.
hung out with Nelly?
Hang out with Nelly. He was there. That's all St. Louis stuff right there.
Were the St. Lunatics there too?
Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Good stuff.
But
Good
you're
stuff.
still humming your joyous tunes during a game like you did in that clip and even before our show.
I
in the
hope that
hallways.
doesn't bother you guys.
Not at
I
all.
just sing
It's
all the time.
joyful.
Life should be surrounded with music, right? That's
Absolutely.
how we work. Yeah.
You made some beautiful
Sometimes-
music as a player.
Thank
Just
you.
watched some of it, and you're
Yeah.
talking about some of the guys today who are making it from the defensive tackle position. We love a list here.
Yes.
What do you have for us today?
I appreciate the bigs, the button gut guys. Now, it's kind of weird because I spent the last 10 years watching Aaron Donald do his thing,
Yeah.
and he is absolutely the best in the business. Whatever you thought you could be as a defensive tackle, he is. He was. He is that special. So it's weird. I'm spoiled. But I do like some of these current guys, and it's not a list of like who is 1 through 3. These are 3 of my favorite guys to watch.
You start at number 3?
Well, let's go with number 3. I'll start with Chris Jones from Kansas City,
Awesome.
the Chiefs.
Stone
He's
cold.
fantastic. 80 career sacks, 80-plus career sacks. All he does is go up and down the line of scrimmage and win. He's 6'6", 305 pounds. Once he sinks that rip, forget it. If you give him your chest, you are going backwards. If you give him your hands, you're going to hit nothing but vapor. His technique is absolutely flawless. He pursues like a banshee. Played a lot of football, as all the Chiefs have. But he's still making plays. Chris Jones, my 3rd favorite to watch. I mean, just look. You can teach off that tape right there. The next guy I like is a dude named Cam Hayward. Have you seen him before?
Sure.
In Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if you're at a stoplight and there's a dump truck and all of a sudden that thing does a wheelie. That's what Cam Hayward is. You guys remember Chester McLaughlin back in the day?
Yeah, of course. the
Same
Raiders.
thing. The knock on Chester is he only played when he wanted to. Well, imagine if Chester played every single play like that. Well, that would be Cam Hayward. Now, he's also 6'5", but he's built perfect, if you ask me. He's got a squatty lower body and a longer torso and long levers. I don't know why you try to run the ball to him because all you do is go backwards and he just ruins stuff. And he's a really good pass rusher. Vita Vea is a great question. This guy has more questions than answers.
Right.
And the last
Here
guy.
we go, guys. We got
this
Chris
is funny.
Jones, Cam Hayward, and here we go.
2 of my favorite pass rushers in life, Dexter Manley and Lawrence Taylor. If you combine them, you get
Sexy Dexy.
Dexter Lawrence.
Oh, that's perfect.
He is 2 guys wide. He essentially plays a 2-gap no matter what scheme you're in. His body and the body he's shoving the guard into that hole. And on a pass rush, again, if you can't anchor in there, look, this is the one from Seattle. This was ridiculous. This is consecutive plays to end the game. It was absolutely a nightmare. I mean, imagine watching that on film, getting ready for that on Sunday. You won't sleep at night. That's an ambient player right there. Dexter Lawrence, my favorite defensive tackle to watch. There were a lot of good players this year. A lot of guys I'm leaving out. Calais Campbell turned back the clock. DeForest Buckner is still a 3-technique terror. Madubuike from Baltimore is also a guy I like. The problem is he's surrounded by 5 other Pro Bowlers. He is. So he has a lot of help. So if you look at Dexter Lawrence, I think he's their only Pro Bowler on defense, and he's a wrecking machine. So those are my favorite. My favorite DTs to watch. I know you hated watching that. You had to.
You said the word nightmare, and that was nightmare fuel. And people ask you, do you miss playing the game as a quarterback? And then you watch a cut up like that, and I remember why I retired. Those red dot players, I've talked about this all the time. When you put the laser pointer in the film room on a guy that can disrupt a game plan, those are 3 perfect examples. It is a nightmare for opposing offenses.
I like this because we're in the age of gurus. McVay, O'Connell, all these guys are offensive gurus. Well, this is the guy. These are the guys that ruin whatever you worked on during 100%. The week. No matter what game plan you thought you had, if you can't block them, game over. Game over.
I love the list. I love the Chester McLaughlin name drop. We haven't heard his name on the show in long time.
God rest, yeah.
What hurts Dexter Lawrence is when we show him in those idiotic uniforms they wore. God, he looks like half the player. You can't show those uniforms.
You don't like those?
Oh, my God.
The week 1 against the Vikings?
You don't like those? See, bigs don't care. We don't care what we wear.
Put it on?
No, just put it on. Let's just go.
So more to the point, though. So you mentioned that when he actually had basically called game and finished the game from defensive tackle position, almost impossible to do. You also saw a guy up close because you cover the Rams. Jalen Carter closed the game on the Rams. I mean, they were about to win, and he decided, I think we'll win this game. He's not in your top 3, but he has potential.
So initially the list was 5. He was number 5. And I cut some of the veteran guys off because of him. Because I think we haven't reached the ceiling with him. Yeah. And he's as good as everyone else on that list that's been in the league 4, 5, 8 seasons long. So we're just getting started with him. It's a baby bear, huge paws. He's got another 100 pounds to grow. And he's double mean. There was a little interaction between him and Verse before that game right there that really got your eyes went wide. Like, are these guys going to go right here? Jared Verse is a guy that doesn't back up, and he just met his brother in Jalen Carter. So he will also be on that list. But at some point, when all these guys cycle out, I believe Jalen Carter will ascend to the number 1 spot.
Wait, so before that game, we saw the 2 of them walking around the field, Jalen Carter, Jared Verse. If Verse had said all that stuff, because he's from Pennsylvania, about Philly and Eagles fans, and so now you're saying that it was an actual interaction that happened? That wasn't just...
Jalen Carter bet his game check on the game. I'm not sure if Verse took him up on it, but it was interesting. Look, if you're going to talk stuff, Jared Verse, and he's not, I love the way he talks, and he was Rookie of the Year, so he's going to talk even more. But if you talk about a man's house, Jalen Carter's house is that stadium. He's going to protect it. So he did exactly what you need to do. You don't get to come in here and talk trash without me saying something to you. And it was respect. And the crazy thing was, it was at a level that I couldn't get to because they're both tall guys. You know what I mean? But it was just like, okay, I get it. They're both cut from the same cloth.
Carter literally said, I will bet you my game check we win this game.
Bet the game check right there.
Wow.
He made the offer.
Because Jared Verse had talked so much and said, we're going to come up there and win. So he said, bet your game check. Well, cooler heads prevailed. They went in separate directions, but we know what that's about. That's about protecting your house.
Well, you just said number 5. Now I'm intrigued. Are we going to get number 4 now?
Yeah, what was number 4?
Well, 4, that was Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter was honorable mention.
Leonard Williams from Seattle is a guy that
there we go.
Big on. Oh, my God. 11 sacks. An absolute beast. I mean, really. So when you talk about DeForest Buckner and guys that just tear up the B-gap, here's another one. All he does is rip the upside shoulder of the guard and take him back to the quarterback. And it gets in your vision. It gets in your brain. He slips off to inside and outside. He's got a great spin move for a big dude. So all these guys are wrecking machines, and they have just taken over for Aaron Donald as the interior pass rush threats in the National Football League.
I was with Leonard Williams at USC, and I remember when he got there as a freshman, when he did not go to scout team. He went straight to the ones, and we were doing one-on-ones during season or during OTAs or what they call it spring ball in college. We had to tell him to slow down because he was beating our offensive lineman and he was getting too close to the quarterback. It was one of those situations where he's the new face freshman. He doesn't understand how to slow down. He has one speed, and I was terrified because he was that good. As a freshman in college, and then he went out there and had an All-American season.
I used to hate that.
Continuing to get better, too.
Slow down. No, if you don't want me to go full speed, take me out of the drill.
Did you hate the yellow jerseys for the quarterbacks?
I wouldn't hit you, but I'm not trying to hit you, but I got to get my work done, too.
Hey, I love it.
I can't be dancing on the line of scrimmage. I got to get my stuff done.
Correct me if I'm wrong. All those guys guys, Chris Jones, Cam Hayward, Dexter Lawrence, Jalen Carter, they're all on their first organizations, first team still. Why do you think it hasn't Leonard Williams' experience? Like, he's on his third team with the Seahawks.
That's a great question. I think that might be for a team to answer, but his talent carries over.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like you said, sometimes it's the right guy, wrong spot.
Yeah.
I think he's found the right spot in Seattle.
Well, we go from defensive tackles just destroying quarterbacks to our young quarterback here at the table. We're going to talk about young Cody Kessler entering the league and how difficult it can be. Honestly, he's going to break down his first snaps as an NFL player. I hate to say this, but it is really funny. You told us yesterday, and we're like, God, that sounds incredible. We got to make a segment out of it. And we'll look at it through the lens of quarterbacks entering the league. Mm-hmm. Plus, we had an interesting retirement yesterday in the world of sports media that we all want to reflect on. You've probably seen it. That's Good Morning Football. After this, and don't go anywhere because we'll come right back.
I think we just had a heavy metal lyric dropped on us by DeMarco. If you pursue his hands, there's nothing but vapor.
Oh, yeah. I think that's on the Megadeth album. That was really good. There's the
day on Good Morning Football. And the first thing that I learned was that this is the best football show on television.
Let's go,
Everyone
Cody.
behind the scenes, to the co-hosts, to the producers, everyone involved. The second thing that I learned is be very careful about the stories that you tell during commercial breaks to the producers about your bad days in football, because they will not only go find the tape, but make you relive it on national television. And that's exactly what we are doing on this segment. We're going to take a look at my first series as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I'll lay the foundation a little bit. The scene is that I'm a third-round pick in 2016 to the Cleveland Browns. I have Robert Griffin III ahead of me. I have Josh McCown ahead of me. I am told that I'm going to, quote-unquote, NFL redshirt. Well, the first game, RG3 gets hurt. He's out 8 weeks. The second game, Josh McCown gets hurt. He's out 8 to 10 weeks. So lo and behold, week 3, I am starting against the Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium. We're going to take a look at that series and why it went so wrong, and just give a little heads up to some of the rookies in the combine and what it's going to look like when you get to the NFL. Hopefully it's not this bad. So the first play we're going to look at.
First play of your career.
Is I have been working all week, Kyle, preparing, staying late, first guy in, last guy out.
Let's go.
Doing everything I can to be ready for this game. I feel great. In warm-ups, I tell Josh McCown, I'm not nervous. I'm ready for the moment.
Yeah.
The first play we're going to get out there, you're going to see a little bit of a funky look, a unique Hugh Jackson play. The tackles are going to be out wide. We're going to have guard center on the inside. If we like the look, we say hurry, hurry, set hut. If we don't like the look, we shift everybody in. Well, I try to say hurry, hurry, set hut. It doesn't work. I panic, so I try to shift everybody in. No one can hear me. It's too loud in there. I'm not loud enough. I'm nervous. And then sure enough, you'll see what happens after that.
All right, let's take a look.
And so here is Kessler. A whirlwind couple of weeks it's been for that young man as the 23-year-old takes his first career NFL snap. 1st and 10 from just outside the Dolphins' 30. Play clock down to zeros. And a flag is thrown.
Play a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And already you're seeing, Spiro, the rookie mistakes. Cody Kessler in his first career start gets a delay of game penalty.
Unbelievable. This is only the first play?
First play. Didn't get to run a play, Kyle. That was the first series.
To start.
Well, you could see me go, hurry, hurry, set hut. I tried to get the ball snapped. No one could hear me. So I go to panic mode. There's about 8 seconds left on the play clock. I try to shift everybody. I knew at this point it was going to be a delay game, but I'm a rookie, so I can't call timeout. That is a head coach.
Oh, really?
I don't have that luxury yet. Because I don't want to waste the timeout.
Look at the panic clap.
I'm freaking out. Hurry, 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 hurry.
I love how there was a decision that was like, this guy's a rookie. He doesn't need an offensive line for his first play. It's fine.
Yeah,
not
it was
a
a little bit of a
full-fledged.
Cody, we all have the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's your first play.
First play.
Maybe you just get the train on the tracks.
Right.
You run everybody up and you run it off tackle for a 3-yard. Do we want to reinvent the wheel with the Kessler Express over here?
Well,
what are we doing?
That was a perfect tee up for the second play. Because that's what we ended up doing.
Oh,
so now we have
no.
1st and 15. I am flustered. The broadcasters were very generous, being nice.
So
Obviously,
Spiro
knowing that I was in a
Ditas
good
and
mood.
Solomon Wilcott. So Solomon Wilcott on CBS is the one that said, oh, no, we're already getting into the rookie mistakes.
It gets worse,
Oh,
Jamie.
great.
Okay, so the second play here, we do go to a run play, and we just give the ball to Isaiah Crowell. Very easy. Get in a little power formation, hand it off.
Good
Let's
runner.
pick up 7 or 8 yards.
That's a big play.
And now we go from 1st and 15 to 2nd and 8.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Everything's going the right way.
Should have been your first
Great.
one.
Now we go to the third play.
Let the kid throw.
We're going to run the football again.
All right.
Okay, so we have a play
you
called
are.
that we're going to the left. This was a check with me type play. That means we want to run to the 3 technique. That is when the defensive tackle is on the shade of the right guard, right? And we're running away from the shade, which means the nose tackle is head up or to the left side of the center. So I walk up there, did all my prep. You're going to hear me say opie, opie. That means opposite, opposite.
Got it.
So we're going from left to right.
You're gonna
I
run
am
right.
feeling great about myself. I worked all week. I did my prep. Opie, opie, we're good to go. Great call. I get a look from the center saying, hey, way to go. And then you see what happens.
2nd and 8. from the Dolphins' 32.
Hurry, go!
Snap is fumbled by Kessler. And a shaky start continues. Kessler able to fall on the football, and you just can't even imagine what's going through this kid's mind here after a very ragged start.
Butterflies are swirling. Everything's happening and going 100 miles an hour. You can see the snap right there from number 77.
Oh, my God.
I'm thinking DeMarco's going to kill you. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's my quarterback.
What are you thinking as a defensive lineman on the sideline right now? And mind you,
From your first play, I'm like, this kid doesn't know what he's doing.
the defense got the ball first.
Yeah.
They got or our defense was out there first. Miami gets the ball first. They get an interception and give us great field position.
Oh, my God, you ruined the turn. Oh,
And this
come on.
is exactly what happened.
So after the first play, we're all screaming at the coach. Why would you run? Now
Yeah.
it's like this. Is,
Cody.
What happened? Why don't you?
Butterfly swirling.
You want to know the worst part, Kyle, is getting in the huddle and looking at Joe Thomas, who's staring at you as a rookie saying, is this what I'm in for today? And I'm trying to be positive, and I am absolutely flustered. So
Today?
you don't think it can get worse?
You just said the guys are out for 8 to 10 weeks. Joe Thomas is thinking this is the next 8 weeks of my life.
Yeah, that's true. So it can't get worse, right? It gets worse.
So that's not rock bottom.
Now we're at 3rd and 8.
This is so great.
Okay, so we call screen pass to Gary Barnidge. A little tight end screen. We're feeling good.
The
I'm going
tight end,
to pump to the right, go back to the left. When you're a young quarterback, even in middle school, they teach you either get it to the tight end on the screen. If it's not there, dirt it and throw it away. Right? That's simple stuff. We talked yesterday. When to be Superman, when to be Clark Kent. You got to know the difference. In my defense, you'll see Gary Barnidge get held a little bit. It's a missed call. I'm not going to blame the refs on
What
this.
did you do,
But
Cody?
What did you do?
I drop back. I try to get it to Gary Barnidge. I'm going to pump right, look at Gary Barnidge, and he's going to get held up a little bit.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And instead of dirting it, you're going to see what happens, and it's absolute disaster.
3rd and 9. Kessler under pressure. Sack football comes loose. Miami has it.
Cameron Wake strikes early in this ball game. You can see Cody Kessler is not used to the tempo and the timing in which the ball has to come out. And Hugh Jackson can't be happy with the decision making or poor decision of his quarterback.
Did that hurt? I hope it hurt.
True story. That was Cameron Wake. Gave me a dead leg. You can see me limping off. That hurt for probably a week and a half. The next week we play Washington. At Washington, we had to wrap it up with a pad because I could barely walk.
He hit you in the shoulder. How does your leg hurt?
His knee. So his knee caught me in the side of the leg, gave me a dead leg. So I'll tell you what, it does get a little better. There is a happy ending to this.
Okay.
So you can see me limping off a little bit right there. I go to the sideline, and I'll never forget. Josh McCown comes up and sits next to me in a sling, taps me on the leg, and he said, I think you're ready now.
Oh.
And I'm head down, I look at him, and just in pure disbelief, I'm like, you think so? And he was like, I know so. And I kind of had that moment where I'm like, you know what, you're right. So came back out, ended up going 21 of 33, 244 yards, played well.
Yeah.
I had some big-time throws in that game. Terrell Pryor was the number one receiver. He had some big-time plays as well. And then ended up getting – we were down, I think, 11, came back and tied it up at the end of the game, hit Gary Barnidge on a 2-point conversion.
There we go.
And then we had – here's some highlights. Let's get the positives in there. And then we had a chance. We had a 45-yarder at the end of regulation to win the game. Ended up missing it. Go to overtime. We ended up losing. But it was nice to kind of have that wake-up call. You're welcome to the NFL moment. And you may think, it could have been worse. I don't think it could have been. I would rather have thrown a pick six, been over with. Okay, got that out of my system and go. It was 3 plays in a row to where the worst thing that could have happened. But I felt like I was better for it.
That wasn't just a wake-up call, man. That was like you didn't even hit the snooze button.
Yeah.
You got jarred awake so badly by hotel banging on your door saying, get up, you're 35 minutes late to something. That was like you said, every single bad thing that could have happened to you. And look at what you did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jamie, for rubbing it in a little bit more.
No, I mean.
None of us, we're all laughing. None of us have ever played a snap of
Hey, you know what?
NFL.
It's a cool story now, though, because I ended up, that was some tough times in Cleveland, but that rookie year I did play reasonably well, had some good games, and it was nice to get that out of the way early, right? And I'm not trying to scare all the rookies that are going to the NFL, but you are going to have a welcome to the NFL moment. Unfortunately, mine happened right away. Or fortunately, I guess, it happened right away, and I got it over with. But, that was cool. That's a trip down memory lane.
How'd the game end?
Yeah, they lost.
So, we had a chance. We came back. We were down 14, came back, and had a chance to tie it up at the end of regulation, missed a kick, went to overtime.
And so, how'd the coin toss go?
And then, so...
I looked it up. I looked it up.
So the coin toss, we ended up going out there for the coin toss. It's a true story, too. You can go look it up.
This is unbelievable.
We tie it up. We come back, have a chance to in regulation, miss the kick. All right, cool. We're going to overtime.
Fine.
We win the coin toss to overtime, and we elect to kick off instead of take the
You
ball.
elect to kick.
We elect to kick off. And
Because they got to get the ball to Kessler. Let's go win this thing now.
There we go. So, and unfortunately, and we stopped them. We got the ball back. We drove a little bit, got stopped, and then they went down. And
you know what breaks my heart in the play with strip sack? So you pump right.
Yep.
You look to Barnage.
Yep.
And then there's this half second where you're like, I'm going to make a play.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Michael. Oh! Like just that little second, you're like, I got them. Ah!
Yeah. Because how bad the first couple plays went.
Yeah.
In my mind, I thought, I've got to make up for this.
I know.
Take off and run and show off that athleticism.
Yeah.
Bless you, Cody. That was a really cool segment. It's amazing that you did that.
Very vulnerable. I appreciate it.
Yes.
That was not the proudest
There it is
moment.
right there. Look.
Still-
Look at that's the man.
There we go.
Right
Hey,
Oh, my God.
look at that knee. Look at the knee.
hurts.
See all that?
Yeah.
You deserve all
That
that.
There's no padding on the outside.
Here, Cody, stand right up there and we'll reenact it.
Yeah, here we go.
Get in there.
Go ahead, get in
On the
there.
other side?
Yeah, over here,
Yeah.
over here.
Come on.
Over here.
Yeah.
Boom. Pump
Pull it
right.
Now you just
I'm looking
squash
left.
him.
Yeah,
And
go
then
ahead.
go ahead.
Right
There you go.
knee.
Boom. Ball comes back.
There you go.
Fumble.
Down
Cody, you're
goes
the man
Cody
for doing
Kessler.
that. That's really cool.
Steelers and their quarterback room. What do you think Pittsburgh should do?
I think the Steelers should pray, and I'm not saying that mockingly. I'm not. They're not like screwed. They're the Steelers. They're always going to win. They'll probably make the playoffs. I think you have to pray that Justin Fields steps up and he becomes the player that we've been waiting for him to be for several years. I think that they're going to stick with Fields. I don't think they're going to stick with Russell. The Steelers do their own thing. They have their own formula and their own way of doing business, and it always works out one way or another. Ownership was on record a few weeks back about saying we'd like to keep one of the guys we have now. I don't think it's some Hail Mary play for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it's Sam Darnold. I think Justin Fields is the most likely candidate. Justin Fields has never really won, and he's been on some bad teams. It's the same thing the Bears fans are doing, praying. Can this guy please figure it out in this year? Can he #turn the corner and become that guy that we only see in spurts? Whatever the Steelers will do, you know they're going to win probably 10 games next year, maybe 9 on a down year. I just don't know if it's going to be on the strength of their incredible quarterback play. I'm kind of joking when I say pray, but there's no other fix for this. There's no other, let's get this guy. I think they're going to stick with one of these guys. I think it's going to be Fields, and I personally am rooting for him. I hope he turns the corner. We haven't seen it yet. It's been years.
Yeah, I agree with Kyle. I think they go with Fields. And last year, too, he started the season 4-2, threw 5 touchdown passes, rushed for another 5, only had 1 interception, and then he gets replaced by Russell Wilson. So I think they go the field drop, but 2 things are going to happen if they do that, or 2 things need to happen. One, they go out and get another veteran and bring him in to compete with Justin Fields. But if you do that, you're right back to square one where you were with Fields and Wilson a year ago, to where it doesn't feel like Fields is a guy and he doesn't have that confidence because you bring in another quarterback. The second thing you do, and I think is most likely, or what they should do, is you go out and draft a quarterback in the mid-rounds, right? You say, hey, Justin Fields, here are the keys to the Ferrari. This is your football team. Can you make that jump? What can you do with a full year of confidence knowing that you're the guy, your second year in the system, and then we go find a quarterback, and they have the 83rd pick, 122nd pick, 157th pick. Go out and maybe get a Jalen Milroe or a Quinn Ewers, a guy that you think can develop behind Justin Fields. I think they'll also have to add another veteran, not a high-level guy, but a guy that's a career backup maybe in case the rookie's not ready or Fields isn't quite there yet. But I think that's the most likely scenario.
It's kind of like what they did with Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, give the keys to Justin Fields. Let him go out there and prove that he can get it done. Get a mid-level quarterback or a mid-round quarterback in the draft, and then go from there. And either way, whatever they do, free agency starts next week. So if you have your eyes on a quarterback, the market is going to go quick. So they better make that decision right now.
Intrigued by Fields as the Steelers quarterback. Outside of Bradshaw and Roethlisberger, name me another one that played for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has always been about defense and running the football. So I think if you're Mike Tomlin and if you want to play classic Steeler ball, Fields might be your guy. A guy that can throw, he can run. Just make sure that, I guess, that he understands that you have a punter, that turnovers are bad. You can go out and play defense. You guys have been there when it's cold, when they start playing Renegade. That place goes berserk. Yeah. It's all about getting after the passer, stopping your offense. So I'm actually intrigued by Fields as the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh.
I would just say, as usual, the Steelers are drafting in the 20s. It just feels like they're that curse of like, we're never bad. We're never great, but we never have the 5 pick. We never have the 2. Never. They're never going to have that type of season. So you cannot get whoever it is up at the top of the board. You're in that no man's land. You have to pay a price for always being good. And that's that if you can't win the playoff game, which they can't, there's no fix coming. It's the project quarterback. It's the bridge quarterback. They've drafted Roethlisberger way up there, way high. They're never that high anymore. They're at the 21 this year. You can't get a guy there. And I don't think they will.
Speaking, DeMarco, to your point, though, about the Steelers, like, they run the ball and they have great defense. I think Najee Harris is a free agent.
Yes.
And then Jaylen Warren, like, is that going to be the guy that you hang your hat on? Like, I also think they need to redefine what their run game looks like. If that is a Najee Harris, how long that deal is. Or do you let him walk and then you have to dip into the draft pool for that as well? Did not waver on his stance that the Browns have no interest at all in trading all-pro pass rusher Myles Garrett. Kyle, despite Myles Garrett putting the statement out himself not long ago saying, I would like out of Cleveland. I called it awkward the other day, and I think Peter corrected me. He's like, it doesn't feel awkward to me. I'm still going to hang my hat on it's awkward.
No wonder why Peter said that. Here, we'll ask him when he's back.
Yeah.
I don't think Myles Garrett's playing for the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't.
Really?
I don't. Not on his end.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure that they're like, he's our best player. He's maybe the top 3 player in the league. We're not letting him go. I think he has strong convictions. I think he's seen a lot of things. I think he wants out. I just want to address one thing. I was reading a lot about Myles Garrett last night, and one of the things that comes up is this idea of teams that could potentially be suitors if the Browns were to agree to part with him. And there's this pushback about, like, you know, Myles Garrett is going to be so expensive. Just draft an edge rusher. Like, have you ever seen Myles Garrett play football? Like, what are you talking about? You could bring up all the guys in this year's draft, all the edge rushers in last year's draft and next year's draft. None of them are Myles Garrett. These are great players right here. They're not Myles Garrett's. And even if you were to draft one, they're not going to be Myles Garrett. He is. Put it this way. You know how good you have to be to win a game on national television, and then the post-game reporter goes to you and says, so, Myles, how do you see the best players on defense in the league right now? And to say this.
I'm number 1. And, no, that's from edge defender 1, edge 1 to defensive player of the year. I'm the guy. So that runs through me.
With due respect to the guys coming out or other free agents, nobody's that guy. Last year, T.J. Watt wasn't that guy. That guy is that guy. I know Cleveland wants to hold on to him. I think he's determined to leave. Don't think you can get anything else other than him if you move for it.
Pete said it wasn't awkward?
Peter, okay, so I said, wow, Peter, this seems awkward. For a player to put out a statement and then for his general manager and head coach to openly just say, like, no, that guy's playing for us next year. I deemed it awkward. Peter said it wasn't because he was convinced that the team was steadfast and that they will work something out and that you couldn't let Myles Garrett walk out the door.
Makes perfect sense. I get both sides now because if you're Cleveland, you never let him go. He's one of the best players we've ever seen. I mean, he's almost a guarantee, a lock for double-digit sacks a year. He cannot be blocked with 1 or 2. He is just that guy. So I understand the other side of him. And I was shocked about Joe Thomas and other players that were in Cleveland that have lost for so long. You need to, try to get out of there if you want to win. You're getting towards the end of your career. So I get where Myles Garrett's coming from. I want to go someplace where I can win, where this stuff, where we see, doesn't get buried in the highlights, where it actually gets, put to the forefront. He is, like I said, the preeminent player in the National Football League along defensive linemen. So saw him in Los Angeles. He happened to be in the same suite I was in for a Lakers game. Just walked in, and it's so funny. His shoulders couldn't fit through the door, but his waist was like a 32. It's like you are cut like a superhero.
I was in Cleveland his rookie year when we drafted him. He is one of the best physical specimens I've ever been around in my entire life, and he's so athletic. But this is the most intriguing offseason story for me. It really is, because it's completely 2 different sides of the spectrum. You have Myles Garrett on February 3rd who says, to the world, I want to be traded. Then he goes on Radio Row during the Super Bowl week, doubles down. I want to be traded. I want to be traded. Fast forward to the Combine. Then you have Andrew Berry, the general manager, come out and say, we're not trading him. He's not going anywhere. And then you have Kevin Stefanski reiterate that and say, he's going to be here. He's a part of our present. He's a part of our future. He's going to be on the team this year, next year, and the year after that. So it's 2 completely opposite sides. And the thing that worries me is that Myles Garrett didn't come out and say, I want more money. I want X amount of dollars.
I want out.
I want out. I want to be traded to a team that's going to win a Super Bowl. And if you do trade Myles Garrett, I believe you're starting your rebuild. If you're the Browns, 3-14 a year ago, if you let your best player walk away, trying to get multiple first-round picks for him, you are basically saying,
what do you get for him? That's the question.
You can get anything you want right now in this moment, but you're committing to a rebuild, saying that we know we're not going to get there because they're not competitors right now. They really aren't. This is a huge offseason for the Browns. They have the number 2 overall pick. They have, outside of the Saints, they have the worst salary cap situation in the NFL. Andrew Berry is going to have to jump a lot of hurdles when it comes to free agency. It's a very difficult situation. I just don't know how they can keep Myles Garrett happy and figure out a way to contend for the Super Bowl.
You nail it. If there's money problems, you can fix them. We'll figure it out, get someone to adjust it. Fine. he said that this past season was worse than 0-16 for him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about money.
No.
It's like, I want out of here. Can you imagine going to work there and there's this whole Deshaun Watson thing that you've gone through, not to mention the losing. Now Watson's hurt. What is this team? I'm deep in my career. I've never won squat. I want to win something. I want to be one of the greats. I want to be Reggie White running around with the Packers holding up the Lombardi. I don't think it's money. I don't want to play here anymore. I don't want to live here anymore.
In the statement, it was, I want to go from Cleveland to Canton. And I think what he's implying is that, like, if I stay here, you are messing with my goals and my career goals in his, like, Hall of Fame pursuit. You know, that's a very specific direction that he wants to do. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think that ownership, GM, coach, they are going to say he is not going anywhere to drive up the price and to see what they would get for Myles Garrett. Because I think somebody would want him badly enough.
And I don't care what you have. He's better. Yeah, I would trade anything to get Myles Garrett.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
Here's a look at Lance Zierlein's mock draft 2.0. We're already on to the second version in mock drafting season. He has the Browns taking Colorado's Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter after the Titans select Abdul Carter #1 overall. Let's do this ourselves. Who should the Browns take with the second overall pick? We'll start with the former Brown himself, Cody Kessler.
Obviously, the Browns need a quarterback, and it's pretty consistent. And obviously, I know there's some different mock drafts out there, but a lot of people think they're going to take a quarterback at #2. I'll say this. If you're not 100% sure, if you're not 110% sure that the quarterback you're taking is the future of your franchise for at minimum the next 5 to 7 years, do not make that pick. Just because a team needs a quarterback doesn't mean you have to take a quarterback. And I feel like that happens a lot in drafts to where teams feel like, well, this is a top guy and we need a quarterback, let me take him. Or feel like, this is the next best quarterback available and we need a quarterback, so let's pick a quarterback. You don't have to do that. There's a lot of very talented players at the top of this draft board, right? And I'm fine with either one with the Browns. If they take Abdul Carter and he's still there, or Travis Hunter and he's still there, I'm completely fine with those two picks. All I'm going to say is if you're not fully sold on the quarterback, you don't have to take him, because if the Browns take the wrong guy at quarterback, they are going to set their franchise back for multiple years. They can't miss again on the quarterback. And that's why I say for Andrew Berry, this is his most important offseason as the general manager for the Browns.
What do you think?
Just thinking, what else is in the room? Because I'm thinking how to build a football team, and I have to go out there and take snaps in September. So what else am I going to trot out there if I don't take a quarterback high? I'm asking, like, who's in the room? Like, we need someone to take
spend
snaps.
some money in free agency. Get a guy.
Or I could take a young guy that I like, or kind of like, in Cam Ward, and say, let's see. Now, I get you. It's a high pick, and there's risk involved. But what else am I going to put on the field? I need someone to take snaps.
I agree.
And there's a good chance that the guy may actually pan out. He was a really good college player. Of all the quarterbacks in the draft, I think I like him the best. I think he is game ready right now. So
I agree.
I wouldn't hesitate if I'm Cleveland to take a quarterback, especially if I needed one.
And, Cody's point is, I get it, but don't take the wrong quarterback just for the sake of taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
What you do is you find a Jameis type and you put them out there and you try your best, and maybe you go 6-11 and the quarterback next year. What kills me as a Browns fan is, like, of course we have the second overall pick in the non-quarterback draft.
Yeah.
We couldn't have taken Jaden Daniels last year. We couldn't have taken Drake May. They were coming out of our ears last year.
Right.
Bo Nix even outside the top 10.
Fine. Take anybody.
Yeah.
But this is what Myles Garrett's talking about. Okay, so you're going to keep waiting to rebuild, and I'm putting in Hall of Fame numbers, and we keep losing. If you're going to keep doing this, I'm out. So it makes sense, right? Yeah.
I think they should sign a quarterback in free agency and take the best athlete at that spot. And even if you trade back a couple and get another first-round pick or another second-round pick, build your team. It's not just about one guy. And again, we've seen that with Myles Garrett. One guy can't win you football games. A quarterback can't. If an edge rusher can't, who's Myles Garrett, you got to build the entire team. Best athlete on the board.
I actually don't hate Darnold in Cleveland.
That's what I'm. Yes.
Stefanski. And when you talk about free agents,
I agree.
I like the pairing there. I feel like Stefanski and O'Connell have a lot in common, and they don't have the weapons that the Vikings do, and they don't play in the dome. It's not ideal, but I don't hate Darnold in Cleveland.
How much for Darnold?
I mean, probably a lot. That's what we keep hearing. I don't know.
All right, that was it. 3 and out. That was a good round, everybody. Good job.